Hey everybody, welcome to Jaw Jackin. I'm your host Jerry Guy, kicking it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you had a great daily cyber threat brief with Dr. Gerald Ozier, but he's out of here. Get that nerd out of here. It's all about good times and hangouts, all about cool. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. All right, guys, if you're not familiar with Jaw Jackin, the next 30-minute segment is all about you, the community, answering your questions, sharing resources, tales from the trenches, whatever you guys want. It's a cool hangout. We are a community, hashtag Team SC if you don't know. It's all about good times, guys. And I always like to have some fun up here. This is my job, but just because it's work doesn't mean it has to suck, right? Like I enjoy life. I love cybersecurity. Again, shout out to Barricade Cyber Solutions for sending the shirt in. Cybersecurity, the few, the proud, the paranoid. BarricadeCyber.com. Eric Taylor, the CEO over at Barricade, is a Marine. Hoorah for you Marines out in the community. So where are we at, guys? What do you want to talk about? We could go deeper on firewall AI. But I could talk about upcoming projects. Oh, really quick. Real quick. I soft launched this cheat sheet thing for the Simply Cyber community. If you guys didn't see it, there's a bunch of people in here right now, actually. I released this, I think Monday or Tuesday. And basically, if you're in the, like, anyone can use this, of course. But I specifically made it for people who are pivoting into cybersecurity. And what I want to tell you, I'll drop a link in chat in a second. But basically, one of the things that brought to my attention is a lot of people who have experience, like people like me, people like, Josh Mason, people like, Gary Ruddle, John Hammond, like amazing people. Tons of people in the community are helping and sharing. But what they do is they share a list. And I do this on LinkedIn all the time too. Like, here's 6 home labs that can help your resume. Here's 5 labs to build to be a SOC analyst. But there's no context. And if you don't understand like what to do and how to use that, like, for example, BSEC talks all the time about Cisco Packet Tracer. And this is a phenomenal tool if you don't have any networking experience to get your hands dirty and understand what's going on. But if you just got this link, you're like, what do I do? Like, it says view course. Like, do I take a course? I have to download Packet Tracer. Where do I download that? Whatever. Like, it becomes overwhelming, and then you just get discouraged, and you're like, well, I'll just bookmark this list and it's cool. And then let's be honest with ourselves. We never go back to the list, okay? So what I did was I made this awesome list of, I don't know, there's probably 40, 50 resources in here, but I went one step further and I actually created they're called looms, but basically they're like these little videos. This is a 5-minute video, and it's me going through the list for that section and telling you exactly what you need to do. Like, click here, click here. This is why you want to learn this. Ignore this over here. Here's where you can get PCAPs. Be careful when you're doing it. I would use these exercises. Like, to me, this is the missing link between you getting real value in these resources and the list of resources being provided. It connects the two and gives you, basically I call the videos the list in context, so you can understand that. So definitely take advantage of that. I personally, I haven't seen chat yet, but personally, I've had multiple people reach out to me and say really, really nice things, which I genuinely appreciate that. But don't be shy. If you have some constructive feedback, please let me know too. I'm in Discord all the time, and I'm in chat right now. So don't be shy if you're like, I don't think it sucks. I don't think it sucks, but if you think it sucks, let me know like why it sucks, not that it sucks. Okay. Let's go. Oh yeah, link to the cheat sheet. Again, I'm sorry. I always forget. I'm such a donkey sometimes. I'm going to drop that link right now. It's simplycyber.io/pivot. Okay. And I just ask that you don't publish the link on social media yet. I'm basically doing like a soft launch with the Simply Cyber community. That way I don't get overwhelmed by people, and I can, if you have questions, I can answer them. If you know what I mean? Like, I just want to I wanted to do a soft launch with the Simply Cyber community first, just to kind of be able to give that extra level of attention. And then we can go ham next week with the world. All right, let me look at questions coming in from chat. Cole Scordino says, hey, Jerry, I've got a degree in business information systems. Congratulations, Cole. Passed the cyber boot camp with extensive hands-on training with Vanderbilt. Recently passed my Sec Plus exam. What next? First of all, congratulations on the Sec Plus. Second of all, congratulations on passing the boot camp. Cole, what I would advise you to do is, all right, Cole, what I would advise you to do is the following, okay? Two things. One, I actually, I get asked these questions a lot, so I've made resources. So Cole, if you go to this simplycyber.io/book, this is like a 15-page book I wrote, but basically you've done steps 1 and 2 and 3. So you would want to do step 4 of 10. Step 4 of 10 is basically, what role do you want? Like, it sounds like you're like Sec Plus, Cyber Boot Camp. Those are very probably inch deep, mile wide, right? So you probably learned some basic concepts, some, crypto, some threat actor behaviors, incident response techniques, GRC. Like, you're kind of you have good perspective over things, but you need to start niching down, zeroing down. Also, I want to point out in the boot kit, the pivot kit, I think there's something in here for you. Hold on. So if you sign up for the cheat sheet on day 2, I email you this pivot kit. It's like another resource I built. But Cole, right here, what roles are in the industry? This is what you need to do next. You have to figure out, what do you want, Cole? Like, do you want to be a GRC analyst? Do you want to be a SOC analyst? Do you want to be a pen tester? Like, what fills your cups? Or do you just need a job right now? You got laid off 3 months ago and you need to get paid now, JG Wentworth style. So then it's like, okay, like, what jobs have the most openings in industry? Probably SOC analysts, GRCs kind of fighting you for that. So then maybe you narrow it down to like, okay, what has a lot of jobs and I like? So that Venn diagram intersection, and start drilling into that. I do want to say, if you want to do SOC analyst, Cole, there's a phenomenal resource on the Simply Cyber YouTube channel under playlists called, I think, SOC Analyst Lab. It's if you Google, so you want to be a SOC analyst, Eric Capuano blog, it's phenomenal. It's like one of the best home lab SOC analyst experiences that I know of. Okay, this is what it is. I'll drop a link in it. Okay. And Cole, again, this is just if you want to be a SOC analyst, SOC Analyst Lab. I don't want you to be overwhelmed, Cole, because, this is a really awesome lab, but you can see here, there's 2 YouTube videos. They're both my YouTube videos, but in this video right here, I actually walk through the entire blog step by step and build the lab. So you basically don't run into any issues because you just have to follow what I'm doing in the lab. And you do all sorts of cool stuff like install post-exploitation frameworks, do detection tuning, fire alerts, use an enterprise grade EDR solution in Lima Charlie. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Cole. And Cole, don't be shy. If that did not answer your question, please say it in chat. But basically the TLDR is you need to figure out which job you want and start niching down on it. Dave Robbins, what's up, Dave? David. Hey, Jerry guy, is it true that your favorite subjects are crypto and AI since you're the inverse of Jerry? Oh my God.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
Oh my God, have I got an NFT for you, David Robbins? Oh, it's so hot, it's so lit. Hey, jump on my private Discord server and connect your MetaMask wallet real quick. Early adoption, the NFTs are about to drop. Bitcoin, going to the moon, Shiba Inu. All right. What about Chinese products with backdoors IoT equipment? Secure Nation, that's not, I guess I don't understand the question. What are my thoughts about Chinese products with backdoors IoT equipment? I certainly think it's possible. if you have any suspicions, I mean, guys, so my immediate thought goes to nerd, right? So it's probably based on what Jen Easterly and Chris Wray said at those Senate hearings. Let me, Chris Wray, Jen Easterly. There was a select committee recently on basically China and the cybersecurity of China. There's Jen right there. Right. Hold on. There's Jen right there. I know I just carved off half her face. This is the FBI director. Okay. This is the new like director Coker guy. Right. These are the big players in the cyberspace for the US federal government. And they had this hearing about what China's doing. And they said that China is like basically deploying and setting up kind of infrastructure in United States, small businesses, residential network devices, things that are like soft targets. And they could be in a position like if we went to conflict, they could just like turn on and like screw everything up in the US. So yes, I think it's quite possible, whether it's a backdoor that was put in place by China during manufacturing, or if it's been added post deployment because they're soft, vulnerable targets. Both are totally optional. Both are pretty realistic. What I would say, and I think this is a fun opportunity, go buy a piece of Chinese tech, right? Like try to find the cheapest surveillance webcam on Amazon, right? Because it's probably really poorly made and has susceptibility to having type of nefarious pieces to it, right? Go buy one and then set it up on a network segment and have it feed through some type of span port and capture the network traffic. Look at what is it sending? Where is it going? What IP addresses? Interesting stuff. Then pull the firmware off, or you can pull the firmware off using a couple techniques. Go download the firmware from the device manufacturer's website. Use a tool like Binwalk, reverse engineer it, look through it. Usually it's like a lightweight operating system like Squash. Is it Squash? Squash? Oh my God. It's been a minute since I did this. Squash file system? Yeah, Squash FS. Oh, you guys can't see it. Squash FS. This is a pretty common file system that they deploy on like lightweight firmware. It'll have BusyBox and like just a couple Linux Linux binaries, so it can do what it needs to do. But you can basically pull out that file system and then mount it onto your Linux drive or whatever, and then traverse the file system and look at files. It's how I found a really sussy backdoor user master account I may or may not have found a sussy backdoor account in a Zixel NAS 326 back in 2017. All right. What else we got? Hopefully, by the way, I hope you guys are getting value from this. Sometimes this is why we call it Jaw Jackin, I suppose, because sometimes I go deep on answers, and I just hope it's valuable. Cybertron, Dr. Jerry, I'm trying to find some good time management resources. Ooh. So Cybertron, from a time management perspective, two options. One I've seen with a lot of success is the Pomodoro method, which is basically like a 20-minute timer. And you tune out all distractions for 20 minutes and just work on something, achieve some progress on that something, and then take a 10-minute break, rinse and repeat. For me personally, what I do is I actually block my calendar. So like if I'm working on an activity, like yesterday, I had to get something done for a lawyer, right? So I blocked an hour of time on my calendar, like a meeting, and said, you're doing this. So like I look at my week, okay, and I say, hey, this week I've got to accomplish these 5 things. And then I'm like, all right, this thing will probably take me an hour. This thing will take me an hour. This thing will take me 2 hours. So, and then I'll be like, all right, I'll do it here, here, here. And maybe the 2-hour thing I break up into 2 different segments, right? And I come up with some like realistic accomplishment for that 1-hour segment and then the second hour. And then that's my calendar for the week. So when someone says, hey, do you want to grab lunch? I'm like, let me look at my calendar. And even though I don't have any meetings, I have a meeting with myself. And I say, hey, I'm busy. I can't. I got a meeting for me, that works from a time management perspective, because then, this is kind of nerdy and it works for me, but I like to think of myself as two different people. There's admin Jerry, and then there's like worker bee Jerry. And the admin Jerry is worker bee Jerry's boss. And admin Jerry looks at what needs to be accomplished, looks at how much time it needs to do, and basically PMs it. And then worker bee Jerry doesn't get to think for himself. Worker bee Jerry looks at the calendar and says, oh, that admin Jerry, but I got to work on this lawyer thing now. And then I just put my head down and grind through it, right? Sometimes I'll close Discord. Sometimes I'll close all other tabs. I'll turn on the focus, turn my phone off. I hope that helps. If you get an email from a job you applied to saying if they decided to go forward with other candidates, is it worth sending them a thank you email? I would, Zach Morrison. Here's the thing. Okay, sending them a thank you email is not going to change their mind about hiring you. But, dude, be consistent. Put good out into the world. You never know who's watching, okay? Maybe you say, hey, maybe the person that you email back thought you were a great candidate and their boss wants to hire their nephew. So they're like, you send a thank you note. It leaves a good impression. It's like the last thing they remember. Like, oh, yeah, that Zach Morrison was a totally legit dude. And then maybe that person switches companies and they're like, I remember Zach. I wonder if he's still looking. Okay. Again, I can't promise that. And maybe for every 50 seeds you throw into the field, only 3 sprout flowers. But dude, consistency, put good out into the world. And this is like the essence of networking. Chris Rock is up in here. When are you going to set up your own TV network on YouTube equivalent 24/7 TV show with segments like your show? You're ready. Oh my gosh. Well, Chris Rock, thank you for saying that. And thank you for indicating or implying that the Simply Cyber content is quality enough to warrant a 24/7 show. For what it's worth, I did launch, whatever you want to call it, the Simply Cyber media group, I guess. So there's other pods that are coming online. There's my show. There's Cyber Starters, which is like focused on entrepreneurial stuff. There's 2 Cyber Chicks, which you can come back next Wednesday to watch the season 4, episode 3. We've got Charles Finfrock's What the Frock, Threat or Opportunity podcast. So we're working our way there, Chris Rock. We're working our way, buddy. I'm so, I'm so conservative and so deliberate about execution that I can't just go YOLO and throw out a bunch of content. But I like your idea, Chris. I like your idea. We should investigate that. See if Sim Monster wants to sponsor. All right. Space Taco's in the house. Oh, almost done with that book about how the world ends. Oh, cool. Yeah, Nicole Pelroth's book's awesome. What are you reading right now? My next book is Michelle Kahn's book on being a dope CISO. All right. So really quick, Space Tacos is talking about this. Oh, hey, I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. Travis W. with the $10 super chat back during the mid-roll. Thank you, Travis W. And hey, apologies for missing that super chat, bud. Lazaro Rivera coming in hot with a super chat. Thank you, Lazaro.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Had to get out of my comfort zone yesterday and call a risky user to confirm their sign-in activity. Thankfully, it was a false positive. Hashtag Team SC all day. Yes, 100%. Great work, Lazaro. I'm glad it was a false positive. And I want to remind everybody, if you're doing something like professionally that is out of your comfort zone, that is good because that means you're learning. If you're doing something that you're comfortable with, that means you've already done it and you've already mastered it. Stepping into your uncomfortable is how you grow as a professional. So great job. Space Tacos was talking about the Nicole Pelroth book. This is How the World Ends. If you haven't read this, this might be one of the best books I've ever read. It's just so awesome. Where is it? Where the hell is it? It's got to be here. Oh my God. We have to add it to this list here. Okay, this is the book. This book's awesome. You can see I bought it October 3rd, 2022. If you get a chance to read this book, you'll love this. This is How They Tell Me the World Ends by Nicole Pelroth. It is riveting. It is nonfiction, but it reads like kind of like a page turner spy thriller. It won Business Book of the Year 2021. It does not feel like a business book. It gets into 0 days in the history of the black market for exploits. It talks about the NSA. It talks about the amazing growing cyber capabilities out of Argentina. She goes into the field and interviews people. It's so good. It's so good. Currently, I'm reading two things right now. Battlefield Cyber is what I'm reading, although I've put a little bit of pause on it. I've been working my A off, Space Tacos. So what I have been reading, which I'll admit is not cybersecurity related, but I like to work in some nonfiction every once in a while. But what I've been working on is I've been working on this. Okay. I've started The Witcher. I've heard amazing things about it. I read The Last Wish, which is technically the first book chronologically in the series. And now I'm reading this. I like this kind of fantasy fiction stuff that's multi-book series for entertainment reading. So I've read the Dark Tower series. Wheel of Time I've read twice, which is like 15 books. It's crazy. Game of Thrones. And now I'm doing the Witcher series. So that's what I'm reading. Sorry, it's not cyber, but what's the chance Simply Cyber comes out with a flaming donkey shirt and merch? I don't know, Dave Robbins. Let me think on it. And we'll get back to you. I mean, if you want to make one, you certainly can. I'm not going to stop you, but you know what would be kind of cool? There's a really, really cool sticker company. I forget what it's called, but there's one that like is known in the cyber industry as like making sick stickers. Jason Haddock's just recently like logos and stickers, and maybe they could make like a flaming donkey one. That'd be kind of cool. I do want to share with you guys an update. If you're going to Wild West Hackin' Fest, by the way, Space Tacos, yeah, the Witcher series books so far are amazing. The way the author is able to like describe the scene and really capture the human emotions and the human experience interacting is fascinating. Plus, Geralt, the main character, is very interesting character. If you guys are going to Wild West Hackin' Fest, I would love to drop some knowledge bombs right now, okay? Really quickly, if you're going to Wild West Hackin' Fest, I want to share a couple things. First of all, Simply Cyber is in fact one of the sponsors. We're going to have a booth at Wild West Hackin' Fest. We're sponsoring one of the stops on the sponsor stampede. Whoop, whoop. So we'll have some fun with that. If you are going and you want to be involved in any of it, it is a community, so let's go. Jesse Johnson from Slay Security Plus, which is a different YouTube channel, but it's part of the Simply Cyber ecosystem, if you get my meaning. I'm not going to be at the booth trying to like sell you on my courses or daily cyber threat brief. We're going to be hanging out at the booth. Jesse will be there. We were talking, we might do some like live streaming, like live stream Slay Security Plus, live stream interviews with people, introduce the community, whatever. All about good times. Thinking about hosting a Magic the Gathering arena tournament at Wild West Hackin' Fest super early on that, but just to share some fun ideas that we've been kicking around for Wild West Hackin' Fest. If you're not going to Wild West Hackin' Fest, I'm sorry. There's going to be a lot of FOMO. It's such a great conference. It's so cool. Cyber Butterfly comes in hot with Mr. Gerald, can you please confirm if you received my email with information about the logo you are working on? Cyber Butterfly, I don't know. I don't think so. Email is really not a good vehicle to get connected with me. Email, guys, I get like 100 emails a day. Like I get a lot of emails. I literally have like, I have 5 email accounts that I use. Like one's personal, one's for Simply Cyber, one's for the Citadel, one is for the school, one is for like vendors I deal with. I get a lot. It's not a good vehicle. So Cyber Butterfly, what I would ask you to do is go into Discord and message me, or I need to know what your email address is so I can search. I need to know what email address you have and what email address you emailed to, and then I can search for it and we could talk. Do you think companies should prepare for undersea internet cables being cut, like what happened 2 days ago on a lesser scale? Fariz Azari asked the question. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you really prepare for it. I mean, you could have backup internet lines and stuff, but cutting internet wires, subsea internet has happened multiple times. Just recently, even underwater internet cut. Typically it happens by accident, by like some dredging that gets pulled over. But there was one that happened like last year, and it was like suspected. It was suspected. Oh my God. Yeah. So I see this story that AP released about how this launched, but like there's this is from May of 2023. Oh my God, what is it with these pop-ups, dude? I'm not disabling my ad blocker. Yeah, like I can't find the story right now, but there was a story about like a fishing vessel or a submarine or something that cut it, and there was suspicion that it was deliberate, and then an investigation was done and it was found not to be deliberate. But like cutting those undersea cables has happened numerous times. What I would say for us, Azari, is like, in my opinion, that is main backbone internet, but for national security systems, Department of Defense systems, I have to believe that they have backup internet capabilities through satellites that cannot be cut. It's too much of a single point of failure for it not to have been considered in the threat model when they are putting systems online and depending on that undersea cable for internet. So I suspect they have backup internet, and it's really around like slower bandwidth speeds and stuff like that. What's concerning to me is like having the way that AT&T and Verizon went down a couple weeks ago, and then how I didn't look into this, but Eric Taylor was reporting yesterday that like major websites like Facebook, Google, Target, and Nintendo were down. These coordinated like services going down is a problem, right? Not that like Nintendo's a problem, but like it's an indication that it could be something bigger tomorrow. Chris, Medicus blog says, what are your thoughts on yesterday's impact of the authentication DNS routing issues of Meta? All right, so I didn't look or see the story about that, but let me know if it was BGP related, Border Gateway Protocol. Give me 1 second. I can do this real time. All right. So Meta authentication, DNS, routing issues. Let's see. All right. SiliconANGLE. Let's look at this really quickly. All right. I'm going to use my cheat code here. This is such a great little extension for doing stuff like this. Have ChatGPT summarize the story. Come on, summarize it, bruh. Oh my God. Hold on. I got to find a different story. Oh my God. Like today is not a good day for like quick actions. I want to figure this out for you, but I'm not seeing a lot of news reports out. This is from 2021. Yeah, I can't really comment on it, Medicus blog. I didn't even hear about it. I haven't seen any news reports except for this one from SiliconANGLE. And I've never heard of this outlet, so I don't know what it is. Facebook people are down. Okay. The issue was resolved in a few hours. So here's what I'm thinking happened. If I had to guess, it was a network engineer routing issue. It's happened before. I mean, Meta's got its own ASN. They manage their own BGP records. They've brought down parts of, Facebook and the internet before. It's not often, but they have a lot of moving parts. They touch a lot of things. I don't think it's anything to be concerned with. Where does Jerry Guy fall into rotation? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Eric Taylor's here Tuesday, and DJ BSEC is here on Thursday. What would be the ideal cert after Sec Plus? Austin Fraley asks. Well, Austin, again, it depends what you want to do. Like, here's my thing. If you've ever played a video game, right? Like an adventure RPG video game, like when you first start the game, they kind of keep you in a sandbox, or they keep you with like other noobs, and they don't have the other people out there who can just whoop your butt, right? So you're there, you're learning how the controls work, you're going through a tutorial, maybe you're getting a couple upgrades. Oh, like I want to be a really good like medic, or I want to be a really good shooter, or whatever, right? And then once you finish all that, they drop you into the world and you're off and running. To me, there's a parallel here. Like with Sec Plus and a lot of the fundamental skills, like you're in that sandbox learning, and you're like, it's a safe space, which is why one of the reasons I built Simply Cyber is so there is a safe, inclusive place for people to ask questions and learn. But once you get your Sec Plus, and you don't need to get your Sec Plus, but a lot of people do. It's recommended you do for HR reasons and such. But once you get your Sec Plus, it's like you've completed the tutorial and now you're entering the world, right? But what you do from there depends on what you want to do. Do you want to be a sniper? Do you want to be a medic? Do you want to go ground and pound and get in there, right? And based on what you want to do, Austin, depends on what you want to go. So I'll just give you like actionable responses now that I've given my little theory thing. If you want to become a GRC analyst, go look at the ISACA CISA. It's an audit cert. It's excellent. And to me, it gets you in the right direction. If you want to be a penetration tester, ethical hacker, specifically on pen testing engagements, network penetration, AD, stuff like that, go look at TCM Academy. They just released a junior penetration tester cert, and then they have the PNPT, which is the big boy cert. You don't need years of experience to qualify for it. You just need to do it. That is getting a lot of industry love. So that's where I would go. If you want to become a web application security pen tester, you might want to look at I don't know if Burp Suite or Port Swigger has a cert, but they're certainly leading the industry around web app security and stuff like that. Obviously, they have a tool that they sell. If you want to get into Blue Team, CYSA Plus is a great next cert. That's really kind of geared for SOC analysts. Hopefully that answers your questions. Tech with Toya says, hey, Jerry, I wanted to know how I can combine my love for GRC. Yes, GRC love it. And estate planning to help people grow and protect their assets. Well, Tech with Toya, again, I'm shooting from the hip here. From an estate planning perspective, there are some parallels here, right? I mean, think about business continuity, right? So I think access and business continuity are the two key areas to give consideration to if you're trying to marry GRC with estate planning. Hey, listen, we got to make sure we have everything in place, because if you die, what happens? And I know that's a tough conversation with people, but if you die, what happens? If you get disabled, what happens? How are we going to continue either funding your life or making sure that your kids are funded and well? Like what does it look through? Do a tabletop exercise, Tech with Toya, right? Tabletop exercise. Hey, I'm glad you guys came here. Like we got, little Panera sandwiches and coffee. You broke your back today. What happens? I mean, obviously, like, let's just pretend for a second that you have $100,000 in medical bills and you can't work a physical job anymore. Like, what does it look like? What do we do? How do you get access? How do you pay your next month's bill? What do your kids do? What do they know? Do they have... Now, that's business continuity. Now let's talk about access. For example, like, if you got hit by a bus, again, does your spouse know how to access all the bank accounts? Is your spouse on the bank accounts as a person who can access them? Are they listed as beneficiaries? Where do your children fall in? If you don't have spouse or children, that's fine. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure that they understand not just the business continuity piece, but like physically logging in, right? If you have some crazy password for your vault and some crazy password to log into your 401k and multi-factor, how are they going to get in there? Hopefully that helps. I think that was a little bit of a tangent specifically for Tech with Toya, but I love the questions. What's your thoughts on this cloud? Hold on. This is from Soulshine. What's your thoughts on the cloud? You think it's a good field to enter? Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I don't have a meeting. Well, I technically have a meeting right now. I have a admin. Jerry has, I got asked to do something for somebody and I said I would do it. So I've just moved that meeting. I just moved that meeting to, my God, I can go till 10. Okay. So Soulshine Cloud, absolutely a good field to get into. DevOps is important to understand. I would say if you're going to go into cloud, you want to focus on one specific stack. AWS and Azure are definitely where you're going to get paid.
Great cash, homie.
All right. Quince B says, can you recommend anyone to follow who is based in the UK that is in the GRC space? Ooh. I don't really know. Gary Ruddle is in the threat intelligence space. He's pretty awesome. Kevin Beaumont is more on the SecOps side. He's Gossie the dog on Mastodon and Twitter. He's excellent. Trying to think of GRC people in the UK. Oh, Mike Prevet. Mike Prevet is a CISO over in London. He writes the Return on Security newsletter. That's phenomenal. Hopefully those are three people you can use, Quinsby. All right. Okay. I'm catching up. Like the mod chat's all about Witcher books, so I'm way behind. Chris Young says, is Dr. Ozier looking to have volunteers sign up to man the Simply Cyber booth at Wild West Hackin' Fest? If I can get my arrangement locked down, I'll volunteer for a 4-hour block. Yeah, we could do that, Chris. We could do that. I mean, like I said, like Jesse and so I can't be at the booth the whole time, obviously, right? So I asked Jesse if he wanted to do the booth with me a little bit. But if we had rotating people who wanted to, evangelize and talk about Simply Cyber, that would be way cool and super awesome. So, we'll see. Guys, there's a lot of planning that has to happen. We're doing Simply CyberCon again in November. That's got to be a thing. So we'll see. Chris Nee says, finally someone who explains and gives context. I've been through many posts and it just leaves me hanging. Oh yeah, Chris Nee. Well, I'm glad that helps, Chris. That's what we're up here doing. BSEC is saying that the meta stuff was internal coding issues, so not a threat actor attack. Austin Fraley coming in hot. Pen tester or analyst is what I'm looking at. Oh, well, there you go, Chris. Or Austin. PNPT, which is a hard cert. So don't treat it lightly. And then CISA for analyst if you're talking about GRC analyst, not a SOC analyst. Burp Suite has a cert, but you need a pro license, which is the pro license is $450. The cert's $99. That's pretty expensive. But I will tell you, a lot of professionals in the web apps sec space do use Burp Suite. And if you can get one bug bounty, the license will pay for itself the first year, right? Tracy TLC says, in the digital forensics space, what certs are best in your opinion? That's a good question. I'm not super strong in the digital forensics space. I'm going to pull up the this certification roadmap that's like super dope. Okay. You can see here, You can't really see it, but trust me, it's there. This, oh my God, bruh. This vertical is the forensics vibe. So then all certs in this space are forensics. So that's what I'm going to be pulling from. I'm looking, what do I notice here? Okay, so here's two things that I would recommend. All right. First of all, if you're going to do digital forensics, you got to kind of learn one of the tools: autopsy, NCASE, FTK. Those are the three big dogs that I know about. I believe FTK is free, but it's, you know, the quality is free, right? It does the job, but it doesn't have as pretty an interface as like autopsy might have. So you got to pick a tool set. Next, I see certs in here for blue team security, blue team level 1. It's a $660 course, and one exam attempt is included. I've heard a lot of good things. A security blue team is not a sponsor. I'm not affiliated. This isn't funded. This is what I've heard. Okay. As a practitioner, I have heard security blue team is really, really good. Okay. So, you could probably do that and then get, it says junior security operations, cert, but they do a lot of forensics, right? You can see right here, digital forensics, right? So that might be a good place to go. And then you could see Paul Jeremy's got it on his map, kind of in the mid-tier level of intermediate experience. Again, I know it's hard to see, but this is, up here is like senior experience, and down here is junior experience, and right here is middle of the tier experience. So like BTL level 1 is middle of the tier. So I would look at that, only because, like I said, I've heard really good things about it. I don't know what GRC classes you're talking about, Kimberly. Jenny, Glum Hippo says, where will Simply CyberCon be? Well, Simply CyberCon was a virtual conference. It'll probably be virtual this year as well. And then maybe 2025, I'll have some bandwidth and we could do an in-person one. You know, Charleston is really nice. Just saying. Naveed Ahmadi says, how to get ready for a red team interview. Well, Naveed Ahmadi, what I would say is, I've got a video for that. Whoops, hold on. Now, Avi Ahmadi, I want to point out, I'm not a red teamer. I'm not a penetration tester, but what I'll share with you, I think is going to work for you and have value. This video right here, Naveed Ahmadi. This is how to use ChatGPT for interview hacking. So here, what I would do. Let me at Naveed. Naveed, I just tagged you and linked to this video. What I would say is, take the job posting, right? Like, there's clearly a job rec that you apply to. Take that posting, copy and paste it into ChatGPT. Then say, hey, I'm interviewing for this job. You're a hiring manager. Ask me 5 questions and ask me a question. I want you to ask me 5 questions, but I want you to let me respond to each one in timely. I want you to ask me the question, and then I want you to explain to me why you're asking me the question. Then I'm going to give you my response, and then I want you to tell me how my response is. And then rinse and repeat, Naveed, until you feel comfortable. I would say for a red team training, you're definitely going to want to understand a lot of technical stuff. How does C2 frameworks work? What C2 framework do you like to use? How do you bypass EDR and anti-malware solutions? How do you establish persistence? How do you do living off the land? It depending on what level of experience the job is, right? If this was an entry level one, I might have different expectations. But if you're like a mid-tier practitioner, I might say, like, because I'm not going to ask you, like, here's the thing. And I don't know what company you're interviewing with or who they are as people, but like, I don't want to be like, here's a piece of code, tell me what it does. Like, what I want to say is, you jump onto a box, a customer's, analyst or whatever falls for a fish and you get initial access to the machine, what's the first three things you do? Like, I want to hear your methodology. I want to hear your thought process. I want to hear what tools you're using. Okay, you're not allowed to use any, you have to live off the land. Tell me how you establish persistence. What tools are you using? Tell me how you move laterally. What tools are you using? Right? How do you cover your tracks? Like, these are the things that I would ask. And because it's a red team, I might even say, because red team is different than pen testing. Red team is emulating certain threat actors. So now I'm going to move over into threat actor space and say, hey, listen, what threat actors can you emulate? Explain to me. Here's a simple one. Explain to me how you use MITRE ATT&CK, not how MITRE ATT&CK is used. Tell me how you use MITRE ATT&CK when doing red team stuff. Hopefully that helps. Hey, Jerry, have Hoy looked at hacking the box bug? Hey, Jerry, have Hoy looked at Hack the Box big bounty program? If so, what is your take on it? So I think this is, hey, Jerry, have you looked at Hack the Box's bug bounty program? I have not. I didn't even know they had one, honestly. That's quite a pivot for Hack the Box. I mean, let's talk about getting into a new vertical. Okay. Hack the Box has not started a bug bounty platform. They have a bug bounty cert. This is in the wheelhouse of Hack the Box. I thought you said they started a bug bounty platform. I was like, what? That's crazy. Let's see. I have not evaluated this. I will tell you, I would love, it's on my vision board. That's how much I would love. I would love to get a CVE, like a legit one. I would love to do a bug bounty and get a successful vulnerability disclosure. I would love to get the PNPT. There's a lot of professional things that, like, itches I want to scratch that I just don't have time to because I'm so pinned down with trying to execute on the work I've already signed up for. But just to let you guys know. So, I don't know. I'll tell you this, Ricardo. Hack the Box has good content. They have good training. Depending on what they teach you and what tools, it could be good, but I don't know. Unfortunately, I just can't. I don't know if they teach you Burp Suite. Probably not. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they just teach you how to exploit the OWASP top 10 and call it a day. I don't know. So what would you recommend for someone looking to break into auditing? Oh, De Niro, ISACA CISA, bro. So, well, here, two things. One, the ISACA CISA as a cert, that's definitely going to add value to you. This is the Certified Information Systems Auditor cert. That's good. De Niro, I don't know what country you're in, but if you're in the United States, learning FISMA and NIST 853. Well, I can't bring them all up, but dude, if you learn about FISMA, learn about NIST 837. Whoops. Learn about NIST 837, which is a risk management framework, RMF. I have videos on the channel for it, okay? Learn about those because there's an boatload, every U.S. federal agency has to comply with FISMA, which means they have to have certain level of security, which they never do, by the way, and then they have to be independently audited. So there's a ton of FISMA auditor jobs. I got my start doing FISMA audit way back in, well, not my start, but one of my early jobs was FISMA auditor, okay? Tons of professional services jobs. They want to hire entry-level people to do FISMA auditing because they can charge higher rates and make larger profit margins because they're not going to pay you very well. So I would look into that. Where are we doing on time? Okay. Rex says, define living off the land. If I know what I'm doing, I already have a secure UFD with a tool set. A secure UFD. What is UFD? Let me see this. So I just Googled UFD because I don't know what UFD is, Rex, but it comes up with USB flash drive. Is that a UFD? I don't know what UFD is, but basically living off the land. And this is an awesome resource. Living off the land. Okay, I'm going to drop this link in chat. Essentially, living off the land is weaponizing the default binaries and applications that are going to be installed on every Windows box or every basic Linux system. So, for example, these are Windows binaries, okay? Cert util, okay? Cert util you can use to like generate certificates and calculate hashes and stuff. But did you know you can also use to download stuff and encode and decode stuff, right? So you could technically have a base 64 encoded message as an argument being passed to a web resource, right? We saw this with the pizza image on Ars Technica not too long ago. Let me pull that up so you guys don't think I'm crazy. All right. So just recently, there was this story about how this picture that's on Ars Technica actually had base 64 encoded as an argument to the graphic. So the picture would still render, but you'd be pulling this down onto your machine so you could display the picture of the pizza. Well, with that, you could use the cert util function on the Windows native system to do the decoding, right? So you've already exploited the machine. You're already on it, but you don't want to bring down Mimikatz and detonate it because the EDR is going to fly off the handle, right? They're like SecOps people are going to know you're there because you're loud and noisy and bringing foreign apps onto the box. So by living off the land, you're using tools that are already there, but you're using them in a way that they were not intended for. You're using them for malicious purposes. That's living off the land. I hope that answers that for everybody. What would you recommend for someone looking? Oh, I'm sorry, I already read that one. Mr. Green reads, how about MCSI Mossy Cybersecurity? They have a few hours of leadership training for newbies. Just signed up yesterday. Have you heard of them? I have heard of them. I don't know why I've heard of them. I haven't heard good or bad about them. Let me look at them really quickly. I mean, this is a pretty big flex, right? They got NSA, they got major agencies here. Their website looks pretty legit. So I don't know. I mean, it looks legit. It looks legit, but you know, that looking legit is marketing, right? I can't. I mean, they have try 100 hours for free. That's pretty dope. So, yeah, I don't know. I will tell you this, Mr. Green reads, I would love for you to come back to the Simply Cyber community and share your honest opinion so we can learn from each other and know whether or not this is super legit and value add or not. All right, guys. Hey, the music ended, so I'm going to call it a wrap. It's been fun. Thanks so much for hanging out and being part of the show. I definitely enjoyed talking with you guys. I do love jaw jacking and chilling with y'all and hanging out. So Raymond Cruz, you'll see. I don't think network disruptions made it. We did talk about it at jaw jacking. So, all right, guys, just a quick reminder. If you want, many of you have already done this, but I put together this resource if you're interested. It basically provides a list of resources. Anyone can use this resource, this pivot kit. Anyone can use it, but I built it with the person in mind who's trying to pivot from something into cybersecurity. So auto mechanic, pharmacist, accountant, help desk, like whatever. And in addition to every single element on the list, which I've deliberately selected, I've provided a video for each section. I couldn't make the pictures themselves clickable, which is really frustrating, but like right next to it, I have click here. Every single section has a click here. And when you click here, you'll get basically me walking through the list, telling you exactly, like, if you click on this link, this resource, here is what you should do with this resource. This is why it's valuable. Click here, click here, click here. So I'm trying to like go one step further than just providing you a list by providing you a list and telling you how to maximize it. All right. I think it's going to be really cool. Go to simplycyber.io/pivot if you want to scoop this thing up. It's free. And then you'll get a you'll get a pivot kit the next day. So everybody who signed up on Monday should have already gotten the pivot kit. And you know, if you have any feedback, like, of course, if you have feedback on anything, let me know. I try to be transparent as possible. I try to serve the community. So for those who did sign up on Monday, look for your inbox today, because you're going to get a sweet email from me highlighting some of our Simply Cyber community members' success stories. Nick, thanks for the super chat.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all the squad members. And come back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna roll it back and do it again. It's gonna be all about good times. Special shout out to all the mods. Definitely appreciate all they do. The show could not be put out the way it's put out without the support of the mods. They absolutely are critical to the success of the program. So thank you all very much. Guys, be good. Thank you. And until next time, stay secure. I hope you enjoyed the Jaw Jacking. Be sure to check out the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing happening every single weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., where you can get the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, network with other professionals, and then stay for the Jaw Jacking just like you saw. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you in the next one.